Howdy! To finish off my Beast Wars reviews, I'm looking at the Magnaboss set. This part will focus on the components Silverbolt, Prowl and Ironhide. First, Silverbolt, not to be confused with the Fusel. This Silverbolt's beast mode is a very impressive bald eagle. The proportions are great, and the huge wingspan gives him a powerful and dynamic appearance. His colour scheme looks nice and is fitting for an eagle, and there's lots of mold details, such as the feathers on his body. Posability is decent, although the bulk of the wings can cause balance issues, depending on how you position them. The main problem is that the arms are visible underneath the tail feathers. The Maximal Elders chip is also located in this very unfortunate area. Despite his size, the transformation is very simple, like a scout figure. I find it amusing that these Silverbolts are the same character, and how these toys share similar design aspects. From here you can see that both figures wear their alt modes as backpacks. At least this Silverbolt's backpack isn't bulky. That aside, the core proportions are okay, but all this beast kibble hurts the appearance. Articulation is okay, but once again, the wings can hinder things. They just don't work as well here, and folding them behind just makes the figure back heavy. For weaponry, he has swords formed from his wingtips, which don't look too convincing, in all honesty. He also has missiles stored inside his wings, but if they're pointed forward, once again, he sags. Next, Prowl. His beast mode, a lion, is arguably the weakest of the three. He has the right colours for a lion, and there are fur details all over the place. But he's pretty scrawny for such a powerful beast. At least his mane is well done, as well as the nice fierce face here. Articulation isn't great either. His rear legs are okay, but his forelegs are essentially immobile, and don't even think about doing that. The main problem is that his forepaws are made of very cheap plastic. They tend to flop about unless you do the superglue trick. He actually has an attack mode here. Flip out these horns that are concealed within his mane. It looks really lame though, so I wouldn't bother with this. From here on you can transform him, and it's a fairly involved transformation. When this is open, you can see the Energon chip. Prowl's robot mode is also okay, but not great. The core proportions are good, and I also like his prime-esque face. You can see it there. He must be the team leader. But the cheap plastic strikes again, as the chest just doesn't hold together that well. Also, his head is on a very loose ball joint. It's loose in transformation anyway. Articulation, however, is much better here. You can actually get him in a good variety of poses. He can be hard to stand though, depending on how you position his mane. It's especially problematic since his heel spurs aren't flat. His tail forms some sort of claw-like weapon, which looks ludicrously large when held. At least these are articulate. Finally, there's good old Ironhide, who is, appropriately, an elephant. He has the best beast mode of the three, in terms of looks anyway. Apart from underneath, there are no robot extras visible. Also, the mold detailing is fantastic, with all the wrinkles and his eyes, which makes him look very stern. His tail moves, and so do his tusks. Articulation elsewhere isn't great, but that's expected with an elephant. Like Prowl, Ironhide has an attack mode, where these flip out, and, well, need I say more? Ironhide's a shell former regarding his transformation. His energon chip is on one of the panels. Sometimes combiner figures make sacrifices for the Jesselt to work. Simply put, Ironhide's entire robot mode is a sacrifice. I mean, top-heavy proportions are nothing new for these figures. But Ironhide doesn't actually have a proper body. He's made up of flaps that split when forming Magnaboss. He also has a ton of kibble on him, although some of it adds to the look of the mode, to be fair, as do his tusks. As you can see, he doesn't have any hands. His weapons peg on these holes underneath. I'm guessing these are guns, but they don't look great on their own. Although Magnaboss's heel spurs can be used as spikes, as a form of defense. Articulation is so-so. He's got the joints, but his kibble and general top heaviness makes them kinda useless, though they're needed for Magnaboss. Finally, his colour scheme works quite well. The red possibly hints at G1 Ironhide. As individual figures, they're not horrible, but a few small changes would have helped here and there. But this is just the beginning.